This story is from Jack. First off, I'm a 22-year-old male. I'm a bit stocky and muscular, but not fat. I'm not somebody you would try to actively avoid in a dark alley, but also not someone you would really want to pick on for being puny. I'm a pretty average guy. Anyway, before this starts to sound like your typical dating profile, let me begin. I was with my girlfriend, and it was around 10 p.m. It was dark out. We left a friend's house to meet some other friends at an Applebee's about 20 minutes away. We pulled out of the driveway and started driving. About 3 minutes down the road, I noticed a large truck following us very closely. It swerved a bit, but the driver didn't seem drunk. The speed limit was 45 miles per hour, and I was going a solid 50. It was a fairly straight road and not many cars were on it. The driver started flashing his lights. This is normally a pretty universal sign that either my lights are off, he wants me to pull over, or I'm not driving adequately. I recently had my car inspected and passed, so it wasn't the lights. I was driving just over the speed limit, and there was no way that I was pulling over. Plus, it was a passing lane, so he could have passed if he wanted to. I kept driving. He was literally right behind me, not 15 or 20 feet, but right behind me. There were no other cars around, so I decided to start taking side roads. I knew the area pretty well, so I was confident. Meanwhile, my girlfriend just really wanted Applebee's. Classic girlfriend. So I took some random side road, and of course, he followed right behind me, still flashing his lights. I kept turning into other roads, trying to lose him, but he was staying right on my trail. Finally, my girlfriend realized how weird this was and began getting a little nervous. I have to admit, I was nervous too. Our area has some high crime rates and some gang initiations involving running people off the road, forcing people to pull over and shooting them, and other car-related mumbo-jumbo, so we were both scared that this could be the case. I kept taking side roads, and he kept staying right behind me. Finally, we arrived at a Walmart. This Walmart has a back road where the trucks go to unload, and I took the turn onto this road without even using my blinker, still trying to lose him. I ended up driving up to 80 miles per hour on the small back road, but this person would not stop. The small road wraps around to the main parking lot. I skipped all the stop signs and ignored all safety rules of the road. Thanks to the fluorescent Walmart lights, I was able to see that the truck was red and beaten down. I could see Applebee's in the distance, so I decided I would park and just deal with this like a man. At this point, my girlfriend was actually tearing up. This whole ordeal may not sound that scary, but trust me, it was. Once we pulled into the Applebee's parking lot, I noticed that the red truck was no longer following us. It just disappeared. I looked at my girlfriend for 4 seconds to comfort her, and when I looked up, the truck was gone. This was honestly terrifying. I pulled up to Applebee's to meet my friends inside, and they could tell we were visibly shaken up. We were so shaken up that we didn't even get any food to eat, even though we were really hungry. I managed to glance out the window and notice the same red truck parked 3 or 4 rows behind our car, just sitting there with the lights on. I'd had enough. I grabbed the steak knife from the table and went outside to find out what was going on. When I got to the truck, nobody was inside. The back seat was full of duct tape, random tools, tarps, and other everyday items that seemed especially creepy at the time. I took pictures of the license plate and waited around for the owner to return, but he didn't. There's no doubt he saw me waiting by his truck, sweatshirt hood up, looking like a weirdo. I called the police, let them know what was happening, and left it at that. I was told to be very careful as gang initiations were starting to pick up speed in our area. The truck was the same one that followed me around, and yes, it could have just been some teens trying to be funny, but don't mess with me, my girlfriend, or Applebee's. So Mr. Truck Driver who ruins appetites and may want to kill me, let's not meet. Story from Anya continued. Story 1 Part 3. First, a bit of context as to where, when, and how this occurred. I was in rural New Brunswick, Canada at my grandparents' house. They both recently passed away, and my family was there to help clean up the house. It's located near the end of a dirt road that ends in a little lake, so there's rarely any traffic down the road, except occasionally during the day when people come to kayak or swim in the lake. The house has no running water because the pipes froze during the winter when nobody was there. But there is a little building about 200 to 300 meters by the lake that has public bathrooms and showers. It's unlocked 24/7, so we've been using this facility as our place to shower and use the toilet. So it's about 12:10 a.m. on a Monday morning, and after a week of avoiding the gross bathrooms, I was just like, screw it. I want to go take a shower and clean up before I go to bed. I grab a towel and a flashlight and start walking down there. Now keep in mind, without a flashlight, it's absolutely pitch black and you cannot see anything, which means that anybody who has a light is very visible from basically all sides. At this point, everything was pretty chill, and I was just enjoying the peaceful walk when suddenly, toward the end of the road, I heard a car's engine start and lights flick off. Immediately, I'm like, what the heck? Why are there people down there at this hour? You rarely see anybody parking down there, even during the day. I'm already a bit creeped out. The car does a 3-point turn and starts coming up the road toward me. It's an older model Chrysler 300 that looks beat up as far. I've also never seen this vehicle out here before, which is weird because this is the kind of place that only locals use. So you do get to know the cars around here. It's pitch black and I can't see inside the car. It drives past me really slow. I breathe a sigh of relief as it starts to leave toward the main road. At this point, I'm almost at the dark path where the bathrooms are, and I can see the light from the building. That's when I turn around, and the car is doing another 3-point turn, coming back toward me. I'm freaking out, thinking, what is going on? So I turn off my flashlight and just run toward the bathroom area as the car is making its way back. I duck in behind the storage shed for hiding. The car passes the bathroom, but immediately stops and turns around again. Then everything goes silent and the lights turn off. I was tempted to go into the building and do my bathroom business, but I felt unsafe coming out if I didn't know who was out there. I hear some doors opening and closing on the car, and I thought I heard the sound of a voice. It was faint. I saw the light from a headlamp or flashlight over by the car, and I hear some walking around. I was so terrified, I thought I was going to get kidnapped or something because I'm alone in the middle of nowhere with some weirdo in a beat-up car. I wanted to run back towards the house, but I couldn't because their car was right in front of my hiding spot, and I couldn't go that way. After about 25 minutes of sitting there, I stopped hearing the noises, but the car was still there. I decided to bushwhack through the forest to cut back to the house and avoid the car. So I safely made it back to the house and never saw that car again. My conclusion is that maybe they were doing something illegal and they saw me coming with my flashlight, so they got out of there because they thought I was a cop coming to investigate. It seems like the most likely explanation, but I'm glad I didn't have to find out.